Well, many of us have done it, taken a second to send a reply to a text while behind the wheel.
When texting isn't the only thing that can take away our attention while we're driving, and the consequences can be deadly. Distracted driving caused the death of 16-year-old Cady Reynolds in 2008. She'll be honored during a walk this weekend.
Here to tell us more about the event and its goals, Cady's father, Rob Reynolds from the C.A.R. Alliance for Safer Teen Driving. Good to see you, Rob. Thanks for stopping by this morning. Can you explain this event coming up?
Yeah, it's the only annual event in Nebraska that is aimed towards bringing awareness about distracted driving, especially with teen drivers, but just general awareness about distracted driving.
Mm-hmm. It's not just the teens.
It is not.
No, as we were talking about before the segment.
Let's backtrack a little bit and talk about Cady's story. For people who may not remember, some of the pictures and the details will probably help them remember. What happened to your daughter?
Well, and it's a good point to bring up at this time of the year because this is the time when schools are letting out. This was Cady's first week of summer vacation in 2007. She was a sophomore in high school. She was coming through an intersection at 132nd and Center, and she had the green light, and there was another teen coming the other direction who was severely distracted, didn't see the red light, and she ran through it, and it was a T-bone type of crash, and Cady couldn't recover from that.
Yeah, and you can see the vehicle right there, hit her right on the driver's side. Mm-hmm. What have you learned in this journey that you've had to go through? What are some facts about distracted driving and some things that might surprise us? Because I think even I'm surprised by some of the stats out there.
Well, one of the things that disturbed both my wife and I back then and still today, investigation of crashes doesn't really go far enough to really take out what's really important. There was a recent study by AAA that was just published about teen crashes, and it was a naturalistic study, so they had cameras in the cars, and they showed that 60% of all crashes and teen crashes are caused by distractions. Previously, that had been reported as about 14% by the government. So even though we have crash statistics, you can't really hold those as fact until we do studies like these, and they take a long time to get done. So that's one thing. Another thing, too, is that passengers are one of the biggest distractions teens have. And especially in these months where they just get out of school, they want to get in their cars, they want to drive, and they might just even be going to work or something innocuous, but passengers, cell phones, loud music, those are the three biggest factors in most teen crashes.
Yeah, I know that there are some states that limit the number of passengers in a vehicle for young drivers under a certain age.
Ours does as well. In fact, this is one of the things about Nebraska that's a little bit of a letdown. We have laws for new drivers for teens. They are secondary offenses. You can't use any kind of electronic device at all while the car is moving. You can't have more than one passenger under the age of 17 in your car. You can't be out past midnight, and you have to be wearing your seatbelt. But you can literally do all four of those things and not get pulled over and get a ticket or a citation unless you're doing something else wrong. The same thing goes for texting and driving for adults. In Nebraska, we're one of only 2 states in the United States that has a texting and driving law that's a secondary offense, not a primary.
Mm-hmm. And other states do have that primary offense. I have friends in Illinois when I visited them, and they lock it up because they know that they can't get caught. Let's talk about this issue, adults, and setting an example. Many of us probably think, I drive the same route every day. I know how long this light is. What's the big deal if I look down at my phone? Well,
the first thing is it's illegal. Even in Nebraska, it's illegal. Our texting and driving law, like most of them, are written so that if the car is in drive and you are operating the vehicle, so you're at a light, you're operating the vehicle, it's illegal to pull out your phone and check text or make a text or something like that. But you also see these people who don't know the light's changed. People start honking, and they don't even look up. They just gun the gas and say, oh, it must be my turn. Those are very dangerous situations. Those are the kind of situations that put you and other drivers in reactionary type of mode instead of cautionary type of mode. And we want everyone on the road to be cautionary, not reactionary. And you brought in some video. What do you want to illustrate to the drivers out there with the video that we're seeing here? Yeah, so this is just video. We drove around, and of course not the driver was doing this, but this is somebody who would be texting. And this is 2 and 1 second lapses in the video where somebody would be looking down, maybe dialing their phone or maybe checking it because it was making a noise. And you can see on a rainy day, there's lots of traffic here. Of course, nothing happened to this driver because this driver was actually driving, and this is an illustration. But when you add up those small gaps, if you have a 5-minute ride, if you add up all those small gaps, it might be a quarter of your time. It might be a third of your time. It depends on how much you allow yourself to use your phone when you drive, and that's the point. I want to be that voice in your head. I want to say to people, we can all do better. I have not used my phone literally since this happened in 2007. I haven't checked my phone. I don't pay attention to it. If it makes a noise, I acknowledge that it's going off in some way, but I never answer it or look at it. And it can be done that way. I want to tell people we can all do better. If you're doing it every time the phone makes a noise, just try a little bit. Just say, you know what, today I'm not going to do it. Or for the next 4 hours, I'm not going to do it. Or something. Set a goal.
Throw the car in your back seat.
That's right. Lock it up
there.
where you can't get
Here's
home,
the information for the Walk for Safer Teen Driving. It's Saturday, May 30th. It's at Lake Zerminski. There's a registration. Where should our viewers go to get registered? Can they just show up the day of, or can they go online?
They can show up the day of. We prefer that they register before. They can go to saferteendriving.org or walkforcady.org. We'll also get you there. Maggie's Popcorn, it was on earlier. Yeah, they've been a sponsor of ours for all 8 years, so this is great. And this is the only event, again, that actually is about distracted driving in Nebraska.
We could talk to you all day. We'll have to come back, Rob. Come back and talk to us about this important topic.